motion ng prosecution na isumpena yung mga bank records, tax records, pati yung AMLAC, inapprove mga kababayan ni presiding officer Chis Escudero. Nakipag-argumento yung defense, siyempre, si Attorney Michael Poa sa naging motion ni Chil Jukno. Tapos mga kababayan, sumama pa yung mga senator judges na kasama na ng defense, yung magkapatid na Cayetano, hindi rin umubra. Talo. Hello po mga kababayan, si Dante Maravillas. Panalo yung prosecution mga kababayan. Lagi man niya Mr. Maravillas, panalo. Doon sa pagbabanta ni Sara, panalo ang prosecution. Nilampaso yung defense mga kababayan. Ngayon naman po sa Article 1, kasi nauna 'di ba, yung pagbabanta Article 4 'yon. Ngayon, so yung tungkol sa confidential funds mga kababayan, Article 1, yung motion ng prosecution na isumpena yung mga bank records, tax records, pati yung AMLAC, inapprove mga kababayan ni presiding officer Chis Escudero. Nakipag-argumento yung defense, siyempre, si Attorney Michael Poa sa naging motion ni Chil Jukno. Tapos mga kababayan, sumama pa yung mga senator judges na kasama na ng defense, yung magkapatid na Cayetano, hindi rin umubra. Talo. Di ba? Pero talagang ayaw tumigil po itong mga Cayetano. Inihabol pa, mga kababayan, itong kanilang opposition. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, 3 others to submit in writing their opposition to issuance of subpoena for BP Sara Bank Records. Di ba, malinaw mga kababayan, nakasama na ng defense team itong mga Cayetano. At iba pang mga Duterte senators. Si Jaime Marcos at saka si Camille Villar kasama dito. Pero hindi po sila umubra, mga kababayan, sa prosecution kasi inapprove ng presiding officer yung motion ni Chil Jokno. At si Chil talagang, chill na chill lang po siya. Relax na relax, mga kababayan. So makikita natin ang brilliance, ang galing ni Chil Jokno, mga kababayan. So dapat siguro sa susunod, pag kumandidato ito si Chil Jokno, kumandidato siya noon for senator, natalo. Kaya mamamayang akbayan party list representative na lang siya. Pero sayang yung quality, mga kababayan, ng taong ito. Kaysa naman yung mga senador tulad ni Senator Robin Padilla. Sayang ang upuan sa Senado, mga kababayan. Pakinggan natin si Chil. Napaka-relax, mga kababayan ni Chil.
Good afternoon to all the members of this honorable court.
Very professional siya.
Po ata yan ni dating presiding judge Juan Ponce Enrile dun po sa Corona impeachment case. And if I may quote just a brief portion from what he said, I would like to explain that the resolution of this court was simply to authorize the issuance of a subpoena. And whether those evidence subpoenaed are admissible evidence, given the fact that they apparently appeared in violation of existing laws, is a question that must be resolved in due course. So ang ibig po sabihin, ang hiling lang po ng prosecution ay mailabas ang ebidensya, pero wala pa po tayo dun sa punto kung tatanggapin ba nitong hukuman ang evidence na yun, kung siya po ay admissible o hindi.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong tugon, Representative Jokno. Kaya po, nilahad ko po yan nang sa ganoon, maitanong po natin ang defense panel if that distinction is correct. Would the defense still maintain that the mere issuance of a subpoena is by itself already prejudicial to the respondent even before the court has ruled on admissibility or weight.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Honorable Senator Judges. Yes, while we agree with the position of the prosecution na hindi pa naman pinag-uusapan ang admissibility sa puntong ito, what we are questioning is really yung subpoena mismo po. Dahil sa ating pananaw,
Talagang may
isang
tinatago
subpoena,
po.
At hindi lang sa ating pananaw, but even under jurisprudence, meron pong requirements bago tayo makapag-issue ng subpoena para maging valid yung subpoena na yun. At yun po yung napag-usapan natin noong nakarang linggo na definiteness and relevance. Ngayon, yung twin requirements na yun para po sa pananaw ng depensa ay lacking in this case. And that is why we maintain our position as regards opposing itong request ng prosecution sa pag-issue ng subpoena.
Well, at least malinaw po, ang pag-issue ng subpoena, not necessarily opening of records, una. Pangalawa, to be presented in court. At pangatlo, to be admitted as evidence by this court. Before I go dun sa requirement, let me ask the panel of prosecutors, si Representative Jokno, dun po sa pananaw ng depensa on alleged fishing expedition, just for the guidance of Senator Judges, this representation would like to clarify one procedural matter. We understand that the concern raised by the defense that the subpoena may be overly broad. And at the same time, we also recognize that the court has a duty naman to determine whether the records being sought are sufficiently relevant and material to the issues before us. So, Representative Jokno, maaari po ba ninyong ipaliwanag kung paano ninyo tiniyak na ang hinihinging mga records ay hindi po simpleng paghahanap lamang ng posibleng ebidensya o tinatawag na fishing expedition, kundi ito po ay mga partikular na dokumento na sa tingin po ninyo ay meron pong malinaw at direktang kaugnayan dito po sa mga articles of impeachment.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ang hinihiling po namin sa mga subpoena ay kaugnay sa Article 2, which involves charges of unexplained wealth. Kung titingnan po natin yung mga jurisprudence pagdating sa unexplained wealth, klarong-klaro po na sinabi mismo ng Korte Suprema na kailangan makita yung buong larawan,
Correct.
hindi lamang po ng mga salin na finail ng isang lingkod bayan, kung hindi lahat ng kanyang kinita.
Correct.
What we would call
Para may
lawful,
comparison.
and if there is illegitimate income. Ang salin po kasi ay parang snapshot lang po yan, year-end, kung ano yung mga assets, liabilities, and net worth ng isang government official. Ang ITR din po ay parang short video lang po yan ng mga transaksyon ng isang taxpayer sa kabuuan ng taon na yon. Makikita lang po natin yung buong larawan pag nailabas natin ang mga bank records.
Correct.
Kasi doon po, yung day-to-day na lumabas at pumasok sa isang account ay mabubuo po natin. And in fact, in the case of DOF Rips versus Merencilia, ito lang pong portion ang babasahin ko. Sabing ganun ng Supreme Court, the failure of the complainant to take into consideration Respondent Rafael's net worth from the time he entered government service and the failure to take into consideration all of his possible sources of income in relation to his real and personal properties do not support the conclusion that he has unexplained wealth, considering that his true net worth was not determined.
Correct.
Ito po ay, sabi ng Supreme Court, Ombudsman, hindi nyo nagawa yung inyong trabaho. Kaya ayaw po namin tumulad sa nangyari kay Ombudsman dito sa kasong ito. We want to see the entire picture. Kaya po namin hinihingi yung BIR records, pati yung mga bank records, and even the Anti-Money Laundering Council records para makita po natin yung buong story as far as both the assets, liabilities, and net worth are concerned, and the lawful, and if there is unlawful income, acquired by the respondent.
Last question no, sa prosecution. No? Sir, binanggit po kanina nung defense panel yung requirements which should be relevant and specific and kinikilala po natin dito sa korte na yung subpoena is an important tool na available po dito sa impeachment court in the search for truth. Pero kinikilala din po natin na ang mga records na ating hinihingi ay may tinatawag na statutory protection under our laws. Now in this regard, Your Honor, bago po ninyo hiniling ang compulsory production ng mga confidential records na ito, may we know what led the prosecution to conclude that the issuance of subpoena is the least intrusive and most appropriate means of obtaining the information na sought. In other words, Your Honor, paano po ninyo masasabi na itong subpoena is not only relevant but also necessary and proportionate under these circumstances?
Ang subpoena po ang tanging paraan para makuha ng itong hukuman ang mga kinakailangan po natin na datos at informasyon at dokumento. At hindi naman po siya intrusive dahil tulad na nabanggit ko po kanina, ay hindi pa naman ito question ng admissibility. Ang kailangan lang ay ma-produce sa korte yung mga dokumentong hinihingi. The issue of admissibility will come later and the defense will have sufficient opportunity to object and to oppose. Ngayon po, as far as the particular records that we are requesting are concerned, ito ay nakabatay nga sa nabanggit ko pong desisyon ng Supreme Court na pag tinitingnan natin ang issue ng explained wealth, hindi lang po pwedeng snapshot ang titingnan natin. Kailangan mula sa unang araw ng paglingkod ng isang lingkod bayan,
Correct.
ang kanyang final na salin, lahat ng mga kinita niya ay makita natin.
Correct.
And that will be shown both by the bank records that we are requesting to be produced as well as the PIR and tax records that we are requesting.
Thank you. Thank you very much sa depensa po. Binanggit niyo po kanina yung relevance and if I recall it right last week, the good gentleman, Attorney Powa, made mention about the questions on confidentiality, sir, no? And this representation would like to better understand the legal basis of the defense position on confidentiality. We recognize that the law places a premium on protecting confidential information. At the same time, we are also dealing with a request made in the course of a constitutional proceeding before this impeachment court. At bilang mga senator judges, it's our constitutional duty to try and decide on impeachment cases. Mr. Defense Counsel, yung Section 8-A of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, binanggit niyo po ito last time, which prohibits the disclosure of confidential information. How should this apply to records sought through a subpoena issued by the impeachment court? Because as I read, Your Honor, Section 8-A, it imposes confidentiality, but it does not expressly create an absolute privilege against the subpoena. There is a distinction between an authorized disclosure and production pursuant to a lawful order of a constitutional body. So, again, my question, Your Honor, where exactly in Section 8A does it say that AMLA, AMLC, may refuse a lawful subpoena from this court, Your Honor?
Thank you for that question, Your Honor. Unang-una, sagutin ko lang po yung pretense ng inyong tanong. No? Sabi nyo, this is a constitutional body, hindi po ba? And as we all know, there is an old legal maxim that the spring cannot rise over the source. No? Ibig sabihin po nun, while the impeachment court is a constitutional creation, it cannot go up over and above the Constitution itself. And when we talk about the impeachment court under Article 11, we cannot read that in isolation. we have to also give due regard for all other provisions of the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights, kung saan due process, no, ay isang bagay na nakatatak po doon at pinapakita doon ano bang ibig sabihin ng due process. Due process is kasama po sa kalakip ng due process ay ang bawat na nasasakdal ay meron ding pribilehiyo na maging maprotect o maproteksyonan ng mga batas na isinagawa ng mismong Kongreso. So now let's go on to Section 8A. No? As you can see, Your Honor, that is at least for our position, it's an absolute prohibition. Unlike other laws where they created, for example, in the Bank Secrecy Law, meron nakasulat doon, aaminin natin, in cases of impeachment is an exception. Pagdating po dyan, wala po ni isang exception. It could have been easy, especially since this is a 2021 amendment. No? It could have been easy for Congress to have cited impeachment as an exception if it did actually wish to do so. But it did not, Your Honor. And it is our position that if we were to compel and issue a subpoena against these AMLAC records, we're actually compelling the officials to violate this very section of the law. And that is why we are saying na pagdating sa 8A, absolute po yan. It does not say that there's any exception if any court processes are actually issued to compel the production of these documents. Precisely because ang nasa loob po kasi ng mga records ng AMLAC are intelligence. No? And that's why it's confidential. And once AMLAC determines that they find out that certain transactions are subject to money laundering or should be actually filed in court, the end result is the complaint itself and not the raw data. And that is why, Your Honors, as to the raw data or the information that they receive, yan po ay strictly confidential under 8A.
Thank you for that. Again, I would like to put on record that I was trying to look at that particular section 8A, and I don't see anything that says this court would not have any prerogative as to whether or not we can subpoena bank records. But let me move forward. Perhaps this could be my last question, Your Honor, Mr. Presiding Officer. The Constitution recognizes two equally important principles: confidentiality on one hand, and the freedom of information, which promotes transparency and public accountability on the other. So, Attorney Poa, gusto ko lang pong malinawan for the benefit of this representation and our dear colleagues here, being senator judges, may legal distinction po ba between disclosure of information to the general public and the limited production of records solely to this impeachment court in the exercise of its constitutional function? Because we understand that the principle of freedom of information is rooted in transparency and public accountability, especially po when the conduct of a public officer is under constitutional scrutiny. Now, if confidentiality is the concern, would you agree, Attorney Poa, that this impeachment court can impose safeguards on the use and disclosure of the records? Kung maaari naman po na magpatupad ang impeachment court ng sapat po na safeguards upang mapanatili ang confidentiality ng mga records, bakit po dapat maging hadlang ang confidentiality sa isang impeachment court upang suriin ang mga impormasyon na maaari nga pong may kinalaman sa mga isyung nararapat nitong resolbahin bilang isang impeachment court?
Para sa atin po, kung ano man pong hakbang ang pwede o hindi pwedeng gawin ng isang impeachment court tulad ng nasa harap natin na ngayon, it must be confined to the limits imposed by the Constitution and the laws. So, kahit sabihin po natin, we are not against transparency. I just want to make that clear, Your Honors. We are not against accountability. But again, as I've mentioned last week, hindi naman porket po that we are all looking for accountability at transparency, ay isasantabi na lang po natin kung ano ang mga karapatan, hindi lang para sa impeachable officer, pero para kahit sinong Pilipino na nakasaad sa batas, including absolute confidentiality in terms of AMLAC reports, which we are pointing to. So para po sa atin, nakikita ko yung punto po ng ating hukom, no, na paano kung mag-impose na lang tayo ng certain conditions. However, Your Honors, those certain conditions may be allowed for other records, pero pagdating sa AMLAC po, absolute po kasi yung prohibition. And if we were to amend or at least suspend the provision of 8A, then it is as if this Honorable Court is actually doing some sort of judicial legislation, no? Because we are technically suspending this law for a specific person na hindi natin pwedeng gawin sa iba. That is why, ang sa akin lang po, ang sa amin, sa punto ng depensa, is paano po yun? Meron po bang instances na papayagan na lang natin, isang tabi natin yung batas? At merong instances na hindi. I think, Your Honors, we feel, the defense feels, Your Honors, that in the search for truth, transparency, accountability, we must still work within a framework, which means that we must work within the limits imposed by the Constitution, the laws, and the rules of the land.
Salamat po, Attorney. Mr. Presiding Officer, just a few seconds, just to put on record, ang Senado po ay nasa plenaryo na po yung proposed Bright Act natin na maraming sumuportang mga kasamahan natin. Ito kasama po dito yung amendments to AMLA to put in black and white the circumstances under which bank records, financial transactions may be lawfully accessed by competent authorities. Subject always, of course, Mr. President, to appropriate safeguards and due process. So gusto ko lang pong banggitin that indeed confidentiality is an important legal protection, pero hindi din po ito dapat maging dahilan naman para manatiling mailap po ang pananagutan. Ang mabuting batas ay kayang pangalagaan ang privacy nang hindi po nasasakripisyo ang accountability. Our laws must be able to protect both, Mr. President, Mr. Presiding Officer. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo. Maraming salamat po, our counsel. Thank you.
Si Pia magsasalita. Pakinggan nga natin kung ano yung sasabihin. Baka tulad ng kapatid niya, nasa side ng defense ang mga argumento, manifestations.
Mr. Presiding Officer, I'd like to start this discussion with a question that hopefully will allow our kababayans who are watching, listening, to understand the situation. Of course, I pose it also to the parties. If the government had in mind that there's a business, and of course, a particular businessman or businesswoman who is violating a lot of laws pertaining to the operation of their business, be it customs law, BIR, regulations, can they just proceed and pwede ba silang basta na lang mag-request ng dokumento o mag-file ng kaso na requiring the businessman and the corporation to produce those documents? Pwede ba? So yun ang pag-isipan natin, no? Kasi yun ang tanong eh. Similarly, ginagawan ko lang ng ibang analogy para maintindihan mga kababayan natin. So this is the essence, dear colleagues, parties.
Private person yon, businessman. Si Sara, hindi man po private person.
This is ingrained in our Constitution. Totoo po na
Vice Presidente
may karapatan
po.
ng gobyerno at obligasyon ng gobyernong patakbuhin ng maayos ang gobyerno. But it is always with due respect to the rights of every individual Filipino. That is the right to life, liberty, and property. So bago mo sagasaan yung right to life, liberty, and property, siguraduhin mo lang na may basihan ka. Yun lang naman ang sabi. So of course, ako, gusto ko talaga na maayos ang patakbo ng gobyerno para if somebody's life is also in danger, then
Maniwala man
government has to step out
sa'yo.
and prevent somebody's liberty. Kasi nga, sinasagasaan niya yung life and liberty ng ibang tao. So it's a balance. No? I think we can all agree it's a balance. So I want to go straight into a landmark
Wala
case.
pong balance sa
I would
inyo?
ask both parties
Nakakiling
for
po
their
kayo doon
legal
sa kabila?
opinions on it. Kasi it is a legal
Alatang-alata?
Pero gawin niyo lang simple para hindi masyado complicated para sa mga nakikinig sa atin. So in the landmark case of Stonehill versus Diokno, 1967 pa po to, karamihan ng mga lawyers hindi pa pinapanganak. The importance of due process was highlighted and the Supreme Court discussed 2 points. General warrants are void. Sabi ng Supreme Court, a warrant must be issued on probable cause for one specific offense and must particularly describe the thing being seized. So kailangan particular ang description dun sa warrant. Warrants that leave it to the discretion of the officers serving them to decide what to seize, or general warrants are outlawed by the Constitution because they place the sanctity of the home and privacy at the mercy of prosecutors. So sinabi dito na kailangan specific. Take note, warrant ito ha. Supina naman ang pinag-uusapan natin. Alam ko po yun. Pero I'm pointing it out kasi ang magiging tanong ko later on is kung relevant ito sa kaso. Okay? The other principle that was established in Stonehill versus Diokno was the exclusionary rule. Evidence obtained through an unconstitutional search is inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding. Ito po yung tinatawag na the fruit of the poison tree. Pag nakuha mo yung information dun sa bawal na paraan, kung ano yung information mo, bawal ipakita yon. And this is where I need to get guidance from the presiding officer. If I'm allowed, I don't have to name names, to share the discussion that we had in focus para lang mabanggit ko na ito yung mga provisions of law na napag-usapan. Am I allowed to do that? Would you like me to approach you? Please let me know because I will abide. Basically, because ang nangyari is we had our own discussion and I want to mention the provisions of law that we discussed. I don't have to mention names.
The lady may proceed.
Okay, thank you. So, tungkol dito sa exclusionary rule, ulitin ko, fruits of the poison tree, dun nga sa aming very open discussion, and I thank many of our colleagues who were I think we engaged in a fruitful discussion for some, not for all. I think yung iba talagang gustong makipag-debate at di-debate kasi gusto ko rin matuto, no? I think all of you will
Ikat na natin, sayang ng oras po. Mga nonsense naman po yung mga sinasabi niya, kung ano-ano na lang, mapaba lang yung kwento. Huwag na nating tama si Gloria Diaz, nakakairita, pakinggan po. Kasi alam natin kung ano yung ibig sabihin niya. At kung saan sila nakakiling. Di ba? Dito na tayo mga kababayan sa ruling kung pinagbigyan ba yung motion. Of course, pinagbigyan mga kababayan. Tulad ng sinabi natin kanina, i-replay ko na lang po sa inyo.
The impeachment court will now resolve the prosecution's renewed request for the issuance of subpoena ducis tecum dated July 6, 2026. You may seat, counsels. Directed to the concerned banking institutions and Anti-Money Laundering Council. The court begins with the standards governing the issuance of subpoena ducis tecum. These are set forth in Section 3, Rule 21 of the Rules of Court, which provides, among others, that in the case of a subpoena ducis tecum, it shall contain a reasonable description of the books, documents, or things demanded, which must appear to the court as prima facie relevant. Settled jurisprudence has affirmed and clarified these requirements in the 2021 case of Republic versus Sandigan Bayan, dated 2/15/21, where the Supreme Court stated, quote, a subpoena ducis tecum may be issued if the tests of relevancy and definiteness are satisfied. The court must ensure that, number one, the books, documents, or other things requested must appear prima facie relevant to the issue, subject of the controversy, the test of relevancy, and number two, such books must be reasonably described by the parties to be readily identified, the test of definiteness. In the case of BSB Group Inc. versus Go, GR number 168644. The court stated that evidence is relevant when it bears such a direct relation to the fact in issue as to induce a belief in its existence or non-existence, and when it relates to a collateral fact from which the existence or non-existence of the principal fact may logically be inferred. These requirements are intended to ensure that the subpoena is not used, as mentioned earlier and discussed earlier, as a tool for a fishing expedition as held in Apostol versus Lubingan Rafael, GR number 260640, dated October 1, 2025. We are also aware of the ruling of the Supreme Court in H.C. Libenau versus Philippine National Oil Company, GR number L13463, quote, a general inquisitorial examination of all the books, papers, and documents of an adversary conducted with a view to ascertain whether something of value may or may not show up will not be enforced. However, after a careful examination of the records requested, the court finds that the requested documents meet the requirements set forth above. They are reasonably described, readily identifiable, prima facie relevant, and material to the allegations under Article 2. This is not the first time that bank records have been examined by an impeachment trial. During the impeachment trial of former Chief Justice Corona, the Senate sitting as an impeachment court granted the prosecution's request for the production of bank records. In granting that request, the court cited Section 2 of Republic Act No. 1405, which expressly recognizes cases of impeachment as an exception to the confidentiality of bank deposits.
Ngayon, si Alan Peter Cayetano, as usual, nagmanifesta uli mga kababayan, humirit. Ito na siya, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, 3 others to submit in writing their opposition to issuance of subpoena for the BP Sara Bank records. Kasama dyan si Senator Loren Digarda, Amy Marcos, and Camille Villar will join the said objection. Alam na. Kita ninyo? Nasa side talaga sila ng defense, mga kababayan, ito mga Duterte senators. Ayan lang po, para at least alam ninyo kung ano yung mga nangyari. Ako po si Dante Maravillas. Bye-bye po. God bless.